This way forever. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
My name is Nick Hedgepeth, and you are now watching The Juice, the hottest HBCU radio show in the nation.
We back, repping the mighty Eagles of NCCU. This is The Juice, the hottest HBCU radio station in the nation. We are back. Y'all good?
Yeah.
Y'all good? All right. Well, we got a very, very special guest in the room. We got a very special guest. You want to introduce him, Tony?
Yeah, well, since your boy's a sophomore now on paper,
okay,
I can say that this is my representation of my class as far as Royal Court. So this is Mr. Nick Hedgepeth, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I said it right.
Yes, it is. What's going on?
Mr. Sophomore.
What's going on, my brother?
Just blessed, man.
That's what's up.
Always.
Now, not only is he your representation, he's also our CSP brother.
Yeah.
He's also our
representation.
Core 6,
Okay.
yes he is. So, I think what we're going to start out is for everybody who might think they know you, but they really don't, just give us a little background information on who you are. Who is Mr. Sophomore?
Well, first of all, I would like to start off by saying that I am not Mr. Sophomore. Mr. Sophomore is me, you know? Oftentimes I go around, that's what people call me, Mr. Sophomore, Mr. Sophomore. I'm just like, I'm Nick, you know?
Okay.
I'm Nick. I'm your friend, you know what I'm saying? The same guy you met before the elections and after.
You're right. You're right. So who is Nick then? So let me say that. Who is Nick?
Introduce yourself, sir.
Nick is that goofy dude from the 252.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. And people, somebody, yeah, same look.
Oh, wow.
People look at me like, you from Rocky Mount? Yeah. People don't understand.
What's
I
wrong
thought
with
you was from Charlotte.
What's wrong
I
with
thought it was from Greensboro. I thought it was from Greensboro.
252. 252 all day.
What's wrong with Rocky Mountain?
Rocky Mount. Rocky Mountain is a whole other place.
Rocky Mountain.
That's another mistake.
Oh, it is?
A whole other place.
So you have
Nothing to do with the mountains.
Rocky Mountain and Rocky Mountain.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nothing to do with the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah, not even close.
Because there isn't no mountains out there.
Nah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's gonna be off. But anyway, so Nick, so you're Mr. Sophomore, and like you just basically said, you didn't let the position kind of change who you are. You stay true to yourself. Now, we were just having a conversation about SGA and things like that. So explain to us a little bit about how SGA runs things. How is it being a part of SGA? And can you spill a little bit of tea about what I got coming up, if y'all have anything coming up?
SGA, student government. First of all, you have student government, you have the Royal Court, and that's the side that I'm on. And then you have the class council, you have your class president, junior class president, you know, you have your senators and all that.
So you're of course, there's two different things.
It's two different things, but at the same time, it's all SGA. It's all student government.
Okay.
It's a little different.
Okay, I got you.
It's a little different. So as a class king, Mr. Sophomore, my job is to represent the class, like a student liaison. Almost the face of my class is what they call it.
Right.
Because we're kind of the bridge between, you know, our advisors, you know, higher paid officials and the class. You know, the class bring it to us, and we collaborate with the class to make it happen.
Right.
Also, the community is not limited to NCCU. I think that's the best part, and I think that's something that people tend to forget, is that it's not limited to the campus.
Right.
And that's where a lot of people make faults. You know, you're limiting yourself. You gotta reach out further and further.
Absolutely. That's great. My question is, what has been Mr. Sophomore? What doors have being Mr. Sophomore open? Did I say that right?
Yeah,
what doors have opened for you since becoming Mr. Sophomore?
Doors that have opened for me since becoming Mr. Sophomore. First of all, for those who don't know, I started off my freshman year. I hit the ground running as Mr. Freshman.
Yeah, he did.
I know.
Oh, you didn't get it?
I was
No, he won.
I did. I was fortunate enough to win again, and the doors that those opened for me, a lot, you know, and being a business major as well, because it kind of walked hand in hand with being a business major. First of all, you have to dress the part,
Right.
which is not the most important thing, but you also walk around like that's your
So
profile.
explain to us dressing the part. Oh, hold on, let me sit down a minute. Explain to us dressing the part. Is that always dressing business professionally, or was it just being presentable? Whether it's business professional or just street clothes, you know, what is like casual, right? What is dressing the part?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you all firsthand. I'm not gonna dress up every day. I'm not gonna be suit and tie every day.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be polo collar shirt every day.
Mhm.
But for the most part, it's just how clean you look. You know, the representation that you have for yourself.
Right.
If you're walking around looking like a trash bag, people gonna think you have a trash background.
Mhm.
Whether it's right or wrong, whether they believe that about you or not, it's neither here nor there. People gonna judge you no matter what.
Mhm.
But you have to remember you're a walking representation of yourself. You yourself profile every time you walk around. The things you say, you do, no matter what.
Right.
But dressing the part, it's just, to me, it's being me. But for the most part, you really not gonna see me wearing like a whole lot of messed up clothing.
Mhm.
You know, I'm fortunate enough to have some nice clothes to where I can keep myself together.
Right.
But I think dressing the part is really just being you. But as a business major and as Mr. Sophomore, you know, I have to keep myself up, clean myself up sometimes.
Absolutely.
Put on the suicide a little more often than I used to. So.
That's cool. So you say it's being you. Does being you? Oh, I'm sorry. 20 question. So you know, it's coming out because I'm really feeling this conversation. So what if being you is like sagging? You know what I'm saying? Like you're being yourself. You got on a white tee, jeans. You're sagging, fresh Jordans on. You know what I'm saying? Hat to the back. Like what if that's being you? Then what?
To me, that's not being you. That's like a lifestyle that you chose. You know, if you want to be you, then you want to be successful, right?
Right.
Because if you don't want to be successful, I mean, how are you being yourself, to be honest? Like, being me, I know I want to be successful, so I'm going to represent myself well.
Right.
And when I'm with the right crowd, I'll behave as such. When I'm with a different crowd, I'm going to behave a certain way, a different way. So, I mean, to me, being you is how you represent yourself in front of each and every different crowd. So what do you want people to think of you like?
When you were in high school, did you take on any other leadership opportunities, or were you a part of any clubs, like a president of, say, the Spanish club, something like that?
That's a good question. I'm gonna ask that question all the time whenever, you know, an application comes up or something like that. And sometimes I'm stuck. I don't know where to put. People might not be able to guess this, but I didn't do much in high school. Like where I'm from Rocky Mount. It's not the same opportunities there. And people ask like, how are you from Rocky Mount? You doing what you do? It's because I'm being me. Like I'm chasing it. Like I want to do something. I want to be successful. I want to open doors. I want to make connections. I want to do all this types of stuff that I wasn't able to do in high school.
Right.
In high school, the biggest leadership role I can probably claim is being a member of the track team, in which I excelled at. Yeah, being a member of the track team, and I also did a First Priority Club. It was like a Christian organization. It wasn't like popping, you know. It's a Christian organization. People ain't really into it too much. Yeah. So, but we did what we did. We did our little thing, and that was something that I made sure I got in. But I wasn't like a great big student leader, but I would say I was admirable as far as me just being myself. I never desired to stick in a popular crowd, which consisted of people who were in gangs, you know, trying to get the hottest clothes, selling drugs, things like that. So, I mean, I won't much in high school, to be honest.
So when you came to college, did you feel like because you didn't have those opportunities there, you can come here and branch out and find yourself? Did you have trouble finding yourself or finding things that you enjoyed, or try new things even?
I would say yes. I did have a little trouble finding that, and still, like to this day, I'm finding out more and more things about myself. Like I'm stepping up and speaking my mind. I'm growing into a better and bigger person and leader. And a lot of the time, people expect you to do stuff for them all the time. Do this for me, do for me, do for me. But at the same time, I'm growing. You know, I'm a sophomore in college. I'm a sophomore. It's been 2 years. But coming here has definitely opened up a lot of doors. There's been so many different opportunities. Like, yes, I'm going to take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take advantage. Like,
Absolutely.
You're crazy if you think I'm going to sit back and watch you do something and I'm not going to do nothing just because I didn't come from as much as you did.
Right. Right.
So, for sure.
Some people, they're like afraid of change.
Some people are afraid to change. You gotta embrace change sometimes. It's hard sometimes. But, you know, cry for a day, the next day, keep going.
Okay. So, what was I about to say? Yeah. So,
He didn't ask a question.
no, it's all good. It's all good. It was a good flow of conversation. That's why I'm like, I had no problem with it. So, but yeah, I noticed as a student here at NCCU, a lot of people they have a voice, sort of say, but they don't know how to display that voice. I know in a lot of instances, there's things that we won't hear on campus, but we don't know who to go to make sure that voice is, to make sure that voice is heard, make sure that the people that need to hear it, hear it so that things can be done. So what do you think is the best thing to do as far as like, those endeavors that we want to, accomplish, throughout our career as far as students? What's the best thing to do, as students?
It's interesting you asked that. I was actually sitting in the office with Ms. Burnham in the business building a couple of days ago, and we were talking about the same thing and how, okay, I believe that it starts coming up from a young age, as far as like your advisors, they don't even talk. They didn't talk to me in high school. So coming here, is where I kind of really had to find out what I like to do and what I want to do. And so, as far as me, speaking my voice, knowing what I want to do, where I want to find something, it was hard for me to even ask. You don't know how to ask. And so, for students who do desire to do that, I would encourage every single person to ask the question that is on their mind. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people tiptoe into different situations where they need to kind of really thrust themselves into it.
See, that's the thing with me, because I know a lot of times when I step out and say stuff, a lot of people, get offended because of the simple fact that I know stuff needs to be done. And, I'm not throwing no shade or nothing, but, it's just the fact that I know a lot of times I see stuff that needs to be done, and I see people that get lazy. And I'm one that, I want things to be done decently and in order.
Right.
And I'm not to the point where I see people slacking and I just feel satisfied with it, I'm kind of like, who was that? Martin Luther King talking about, I'll never be satisfied. That's how I kind of feel, because, I know in some places, people just slack around and do stuff like that. But I'm one that's going to say, hey, we need to go ahead and get this done. Because in order for you to be the best, you got to have the things that you need in order to be the best. That's like, for example, let's say you are a basketball player and, well, let's say you in the NBA. I know this won't ever happen, but let's say you in the NBA and you've never played basketball in your life. You ain't never had no basketball shoes. You ain't never played ball or nothing. But they expect you. But they expect you to do the best that you can in the NBA. But you're not gonna be able to do that because first you hadn't been able to get what you need in order to, do the best that you can. So, I mean, that's the thing that's always been on my mind, especially when in high school, because I noticed I was kind of different from you. When I was in high school, I held many offices along with my friend that goes to Fayetteville State. If he was the president of one organization, I was the vice president and vice versa. And we always, they say we ran campus. If we went back to school now, a lot of people, if they were alumni, they would have to sign in and all this other stuff. We go by the office, they act like we work there. It's that serious, because the simple fact that we changed the mentality of, campus. Because the simple fact we were like, okay, we don't have no time for mess. It's time for us to uprise and make change. And I believe that's something that, as a student leader like yourself will be able to do, and that's why I admire, people in positions like yourself and, other positions, especially SGA, because you have to have a heart for people to be able to, do stuff like that. So,
and
I commend you for that.
Like every time you see somebody and you don't think that they're getting the resources they need, like you should be the person that's reaching out to them. That's like really encouraging that person. That's what I love to do. Like, I don't consider myself popular at all. I think people that like me dig the love that I spread, and encouragement and positivity. Like, no matter what, like, you can't bring me down. Like, you can try all you want, but I'm gonna be me at the end of the day.
So, Well, let me ask you this then. Since being a royal court, you know, for the past 2 years or so, how do like for somebody that wants to run in your position and or whatnot, or want to run in any position around campus, of course, you know, they're gonna deal with a lot of criticism, a lot of he say, she say stuff. How do you basically what advice would you give them about?
How do you block out the negativity?
Yeah, how do you block out the negativity?
The best advice that you'll get from a person is the advice that they can give you because they can relate to it. So if I relate it to myself, I'm not the type of person that looks back and sees people talking about me. Like if somebody talking about me, you gotta come and tell me, because me, I'm looking straight forward. Like I'm not looking back at all.
You're not gonna turn around and be like, who said that?
I'm not gonna be turning around like, who said that? Who said this? Who said that? You know what I'm saying? Every now and then, as a human person, you might get a little caught up. You know, you gonna make mistakes. Like I was riding with an Uber driver, and he said he was he played basketball with Coach Moden. And then he said something that really stuck out to me. I'll never forget it. He said, minimize your mistakes, like in the middle of his sentence. And then I was like, oh, you know, minimize your mistakes. People don't tell you to minimize your mistakes. They say don't. They say be perfect. They say don't make no faults. They say be the person that everybody want to be. They don't say minimize your mistakes. Minimize your mistakes means you're going to make some mistakes. But minimize it like to the best of your ability. Strive. Right. And by minimizing your mistakes, you can't be looking back and seeing what everybody else is judging you for. Things that you messed up on. Because you're trying to be perfect. Right. You're not going to be perfect. Minimize your mistakes. Look forward.
So, okay, so let me ask you this then. So, with you, with the position that you hold, you know, you got 2 more years here at North Carolina Central University. So, what impact do you plan on leaving on this campus?
Well, I really, really, really hope. I see big things for the Centennial Scholars Program in particular, especially cohort 7. Like I see a lot of potential in y'all.
Thank you.
You know?
Appreciate it.
I believe that. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we battle back and forth. Cohort 6, cohort 7, cohort 5.
That's all I love, though. That's all I love.
It's all love. We do that, but at the end of the day, we the people that's holding hands, walking with one another, and we the people that's gonna change it together. That's and right. For me personally, there's a few goals that I want to accomplish for myself, and there's a few things that I want to accomplish for the people that are gonna be here. Not necessarily for the people who are here, because the people who are here are way ahead of those people who are 20 years old, 21 years old, and still not in college yet. And while we know like they're transfer students, ultimately like they're still a little bit behind the game. If you got your bachelor's degree at 20 years old, 21 years old, and they're just getting into college. So ultimately, my goal is to do something to where the university and the students as a whole can help out people who are trying to get into college, who are trying to build a resume.
So let me ask you. So that sounds good. So these people that are trying to get into college, what resources would you provide? And as for the people that are trying to get into college, what are the demographics? Like, are they maybe a C student? Are they troubled? Are they scholarly students? Like, what are the demographics and how do you plan to help them? And if you don't know right now, that's fine too. But it sounds great. That's why I'm like really interested.
Well, I do plan on learning on how I can do it a little better. But first off, like I mentioned before, my advisors never talked to me in high school. And I used to wonder, when are my advisors going to call me, email me, and talk to me about where am I going to study in college. People go to college, right, and they don't know what they want to do. And then they're overwhelmed by all the different opportunities, all these beautiful looking women and men. You know, so it's like you're trying to live a normal life and then live an academic life, and you don't even know where your academic life is going. Right. You're building a social life, you're finding yourself. So then you stuck in the middle and you trying to balance all that out. So if you can find a person to help you figure out what you want to study in college and help you figure out the roads to go, then that's gonna help you a lot. Like I don't think people realize how much that's gonna help you.
Yeah, because I think the problem with some people is like, you know, it's like I can say like, you know, like when you go to college, like, I know for me, like when I came to college, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I mean, I had an idea, but you know, once I got into the idea, I knew quickly this is not gonna go nowhere for me. Like I need to do something that I know is gonna make me a lot of money. That's gonna give me a whole lot of opportunities, gonna help me network with other people. So far, it's done that. However, though, you got people who feel like they're forced to come to college, and like they make their college experience miserable. So my thing is, so what would you say to somebody who feels like, you know, oh, I'm just here because my parents told me I got to come here, or else I ain't got no choice.
Right.
Like what advice would you give somebody that feels like they're in college for the wrong, for not for them, but for someone else?
That's a good question.
For a person with that mentality, first of all, I'm a firm believer in you cannot force somebody to do something that they do not want.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Like, no matter how good they are at it, you can't force them to do it. So for a person with that mentality, if you're really in college and you really don't want to be here that bad, don't crap on somebody else's parade. Don't crap on somebody else's dreams.
Don't waste nobody's money.
Don't waste nobody's money.
It costs too much to go to college.
Who are you telling? Who are you telling?
Second of all, if you still gotta be in college and you don't want to be, find something on college that relates to you, that you enjoy. Because it's something here.
Yeah.
Like, this is like the world on a campus almost. I was surprised at how many people out of state. There's so many people out of state on this campus.
Yeah.
But if you find something here that you want to do, like, you might find something like, oh my God, like, okay, maybe college is for you.
Yeah.
I didn't know, like, this organization would help me here, and I can apply my academics to this organization.
Right.
And now this is what I love to do, even though my parents made me come here. I hate math. I hate doing work. This organization is something that I feel like I belong in.
Right.
I feel like whatever you do in life, well, I'm going to ask you a question later, but whatever you do in life, you shouldn't find the things that you hate. You should find something that you love. And on campus, like he said, there's a lot of things to do on campus. You just got to branch out and get out of your comfort zone and find something that interests you and brings out parts of you that you've never seen before. So I have a question, like, what motivates you more, having a lot of money or happiness?
Well, I ain't gonna lie, like,
That's a good question.
money is some motivation.
Yeah, money.
It ain't even
Sure
matter
is.
and pretend like
I was
it's
trying
not.
to think about that too. I'm like,
Right. So I'm not gonna front. But at the end of the day, if I'm not happy, I'm not gonna give it my all. I'm not gonna put my love into it. It's gonna change my life.
That is true.
And it's not gonna change it for the better. So if something's not gonna change it for the better, then pull out, if you ask me. Pull out.
All right, well, we still got Mr. Sophomore here. We still got Nick here with us, man. We are The Juice. We will be right back, so stay
We're
locked.
back with the juice on AudioNet.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna continue this conversation because it was flowing well. Like,
It's going to win.
I like that kind of conversation. So we would talk. What were we talking about again, basically?
The whole college experience.
No,
Yeah.
we was talking about his organization and college experience, and
That's what I just
basically staying
That's what I
true.
just said.
Yeah, you did. Sorry, I know. I got.
Like basically
Because I started talking.
conforming to your university and making sure that
Right.
even though
Right.
you may not be, I guess,
Motivated.
to stay in college, that there's some way to keep you up. You know,
Right.
and the point that I wanted to bring out too, because like, every university isn't for everybody. You know, there's different things that may interest one person that may not be offered at a certain university. So,
Absolutely.
you know, it's just like for me, I know CSP isn't anywhere else but here.
It's only one CSP now. Ain't nobody like CSP. I don't care what y'all say. Ain't nobody like
It's gonna have
CSP.
like a different name.
Yeah, and different concept too. Yeah, but similar, you know.
Kind of
But-
like Greece.
Yeah, and see the thing is with that, like I like how with CSP, it's not to the point to where you have to go through like a full process to be a member. You're a member, but your process is during your membership.
Yes, that's a good way
If
to
you
say
kind
it.
of understand it, because like what me and Tariq were talking about the other day, the actual meaning of cohort means a group of people that are in an experiment.
Yeah.
So basically, all the cohorts are experiments where, you know, people that are part of an experiment to see how we're going to change throughout a series of years. So,
And the one thing that I realized, and Nick, this is a question I want to ask you. See, one thing I like about Core 7 is like, we first got here. I think you can attest to this. We didn't know nobody. We didn't know what we was gonna get into, nothing. And we had a whole lot of ups and downs. We had a whole lot, right, Dwayne? We had a whole lot of ups and downs.
Because she was about to get it.
Yes, we had a whole lot of ups and downs, but now I think it's a new year now, and I think we starting to become actually like a family, like a tight family.
Yeah.
But it's not like sealed yet because you know we all went through the whole getting to know each other. Then, you know, we lost one of our cohort brothers, and then that kind of brought us together. But then it separated us because I think we was hurting and we was, you know, healing from it. And now we kind of like we see how much we need each other because it's a new semester. And some of us took some L's, some of us took some W's, but now we're trying to get together. We're trying to get back on our feet, and we're helping each other. So my question to you is, how has CSP impacted you? Like when you first got to CSP, what were some of the stuff that you had to go through? What are some that you remember? Who are you closest with? Stuff like that.
Well, I mean, it was pretty much the same for y'all. Like the way you explained it, it's kind of the same way it happened for us. Because when you get to a university, you got people from out of state, people from out of the country. You know what I'm saying? All types of people, and you don't know these people. Like you're crazy if you think. I'm gonna love on you, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna spread love, I'm gonna encourage everybody. You know, I'm the type of person that's just how I am, I love people. But I'm not just gonna attach to you and start telling you all my secrets and everything.
Right.
You know, as a cohort, you're together, not for 2 years, 3 years, not even for the full college experience, but for life.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
So that means y'all together for life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's ultimately like, you have to build a bond with that person, and CSP is the perfect way to build that bond.
Yeah.
And that's aside from the academic and professional and social experiences that you are upgraded on and that you are experiencing in this organization.
Yeah.
To anybody, CSP is the best organization.
We're the greatest organization on this campus.
I can't even lie. It is. It's giving me like some great resources. I mean, even in the Mac Center, it's like my second
Dorm.
It's like my second dorm.
Yes.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Like I can honestly say, like I build. It's funny that you said build a bond because honestly, when I first got here, I was really keep 100 because we all had this conversation. I thought everybody.
You were not quiet at one point in your life. So
Neither were you. Neither. I did. Can I get it out? Can I get it out?
Okay, I just want you to stop lying.
Okay, I'm gonna tell the truth. At one point, I thought you all were weirdos. I thought all y'all was weirdos. I ain't know none of y'all like that until you know.
I'm gonna say, don't come in here and say I was shot.
I wasn't shy. I was
Don't
quiet
lie.
for a little bit, but anyway.
Barely.
But
Barely.
it's funny when you say build a bond because there's like certain people I build a bond with. I build a bond honestly with Denzel, Gary, Tony, and Dwayne. I build a and Kelvin. I build a very strong bond with everybody that's in my cohort. And the best thing about it is like all of us are different. And I'm not ashamed to say, like, I mean, I never would have suspected me and Dwayne to be as close as we were. Well, as we are now. And now it's like I look at him, it's like I feel like when I joke with him, it's like it's all out of love. Like nothing I say to him is out of love. And one thing I like about Dwayne is he puts me in check when I need to be checked, which is not all the time, but still, you know.
The
he
lies.
puts what? But it's still like he puts me in check. And that's the thing, like I think the best thing about CSP is like we hold everybody accountable.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's what we talked about earlier, you know, in the year, was that we were going to have to. Matter of fact, the first day they said.
First day we did that. First day.
They said we're going to have to hold each other accountable because we're brothers. You know, we're not just saying, oh, they're going to do that, I don't care. You know, we're brothers. We have to make sure that we are taking care of each other, you know.
There's been days I want to slap them.
I don't know.
True.
You, I ain't gonna lie, you.
Whatever, Terry.
But see, that's the thing. Like, you know, we're brothers, and we can say that and not get offended. Now, if it was somebody else outside of CSP, they would have been ready to fight.
Oh yeah, right.
So outside
yeah.
of CSP though, when y'all meet new people all the time, have new friends and stuff, and say, you know how you come to college and you learn about yourself, you find new things, and you look at your old ways, the old you from not even like a month ago, because you change every day. How do you move past that? Like, you know how you grow out of people and grow out of certain situations, how do you get away from that?
Get away from what, your old ways? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Without things being like too weird. You know how you can hang out with somebody and then you're like, okay, I see what they're doing and I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay.
And you just move on from that, like, but they're like, hey, what's going on?
are you talking about as far as being a brotherhood? Like, that was a good question. My God.
Honestly, I think for me, I feel like in order for you to grow, like, you gotta first take a good look at yourself and see.
Absolutely.
You gotta see some of the demons that you got. Like, honestly, like, because I'm in the process now of trying to reevaluate myself, and basically one of the things I need to do is, like, my main thing is I want to be a leader. I want to be somebody that people can relate to or look up to. But one thing I also have to realize is, like, my actions control how people look at me. So first of all, I feel like the first thing you need to do is you need to look at yourself and look at some of your demons, because your demons are what really make you the person that you are sometimes. And it makes people either want to be next to you or they make people want to separate from you. That's the first thing. That's my opinion.
It may not necessarily be like you as a person. 'Cause I feel like every person is a great person, but it's just like, you know what I'm saying, the spirit, like you said, your demons, like your spirit, like, you know what I'm saying. It's really, it's ultimately, I feel like the only way I'm growing out of a person or a situation is if it's not building me.
Yeah.
If it's not building me, and only type of person that don't want to go is a person who is like suffering with depression and that's, you know, leading into like whole other conversations. Because I feel like going away from a situation that's building you, like I can't see it, you know. And that's my whole thing.
All right, so you have a great spirit. That's first things first. Your spirit just illuminates in your behavior. It's very positive. My question is, like you said, so it seems like I don't know if you've been through things in your life that have, well, actually everyone has been through things in their life that has gotten them down. What helped you get out of any funk? And how, as Mr. Sophomore, are you contributing to limiting depression? Well, you yourself can't limit depression, but how are you using your personality and your stories to help somebody else going through something, or someone that might be going through something? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. A lot of people looking at me probably like won't be able to guess like that. I went through a lot of hardship. I went through a lot of stuff that, like, when I grew up, I was like, dang, like, I really was struggling. Like, I really went through this right now.
Right.
But I think the biggest thing that's brought me through most situations is not making a joke out of everything, but laughing. Like, laughing, smiling. Like, really being happy and genuine about different situations. And, like, applying that to another person who may not always be as happy. You know, you have to find the light. Like you were saying earlier, you got to find the light and the positivity and stuff.
That's what I do too.
And counter it, like, bounce off of you.
It's like, it's infectious, I think. You could go around somebody that's angry and you're just like, what's wrong with you? They're like, I'm mad. And you're like making jokes and happy, and then you see them start to come out and be like, hee hee ha ha, and they lift up their spirits and stuff. That's another thing that I enjoy too. Because in life, you're going to go through a lot of stuff. It's inevitable. Like, it's just going to happen. There's nothing you can do to stop it. But you also got to realize that you can keep going and moving forward. And that's the only way to go, is moving forward.
And to add on to that, like I said before, you got to know, like, you are not about to be happy 99% of the time.
Right.
So you have to determine today or tonight, like, I'm going to cry. But tomorrow, I'm going to go forward. I'm
right.
going forward.
Amen.
That's a clap.
Amen.
That's what I would do in the morning.
Yeah.
You're taking me there. Hold on now.
Preach on.
So y'all, shout out to Court 6.
Shout out to Court. I have a big question on Court. Miss NCCU, I have a big question. Shout out to her.
She's the best,
You know,
man.
Kent, Dr. Corbett, all those people in the union that helped me get where I am. And then all the people on campus that really helped me get here. My goofy friends and even my nerdiest friends. Like,
Those are the best friends to have.
right, exactly.
The ones that are odd.
Being a nerd is life. What?
The odd friends.
Shout out to God, you know what I'm saying, first and foremost. Always.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Oh yeah, we always ask this question to anybody that we interview.
Can
You
I
got a special girl in your life you want to shout out? Or,
Hey!
It ain't gonna say nobody.
get
School
to
not
the
to be having
candlelight
nobody.
dinner at Waffle
yeah,
House?
Okay.
the Canada. That's some Fayetteville junk.
Don't be shy, Nick. Look at him.
Mom, I love you. You know.
Oh.
You my everything.
Okay, Mom.
You'll never know.
Hey.
It's like, shout out to moms though.
Okay, shout out to
Yeah.
moms.
That's all.
All right, man. All right, so we about to wrap it up. Appreciate you, Nick, for coming out. We got some special guests that came by.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna tell y'all about that later.
Again.
We got some great things to talk about with them. They broke a Guinness World Record.
Yeah. No. When they get in here, don't worry about that. They coming.
This is the Juice, the hottest HBCU radio show in the nation.
Keep it
Stay
loud.
locked. We will be right back.
I seen your girl post a BM, so I hit her in the DM.